Well, hello. If you are new around here, I'm Ruby from DossieDelightful.com. I am an artist and a zine maker, and this episode is all about my new allotment. So, if you watched last week's episode, some of you guessed, you clever people, you beady eyes, you guessed that yes, we have got an allotment. Oh, honestly, what a joy, what a thrill, it's so exciting. We got the keys on the spring equinox, which I just thought was divine timing. I've been on the list for 3 years, so this is just brilliant. And it's so, is it weird? I don't know, the way the universe works. But I'd been thinking about how I want a piece of land. I really want some land. I really wanted a garden to plant things in, a forever garden. I've talked about this so many times before. And we've got a tiny little yard here in our rented house. And you can only fit so much in. And I'd been to my old neighbours because they have got an allotment and said, do you know who the person is that runs the allotments? Because I emailed 3 years ago and 2 years ago and I've not heard a thing. I've not even had a reply saying you're on the list or anything. So they told me this person's address, and I've been 3 times to the door, knocked on the door, and they were always out. And then a neighbour came out and said they're working in the week. So I was like, okay. And then I went at the weekend, still no answer. And I thought, my initial thought was, do you know what? Never mind. Just let it go. You're not going to get an allotment. Doesn't matter. Just let it go. Just concentrate on your yard. Yarding, I like to call it. Just concentrate on that. And then that night, I got a text on my phone and it said, you're top of the list. Would you like an allotment? Of course, I said yes. So I went to view it. It's literally 5 minutes up the road. Literally. There was 2. There was one that was really overgrown and I didn't like it. Not because it was overgrown. I didn't like it because it was like in the middle of everything and right onto the path. And she said, there's this one or there's another one. And I said, I don't really like this one. She showed me the other one. I was like, yes, please. This is the one. So today is an allotment day. I have got my fungaries on from Run and Fly. This is not a sponsored post, by the way. I just really like them. And I like them because they're stretchy and they're full of bees. So perfect for the allotment. And of course, a stripy t-shirt because that's fun too. So, should we go to the allotment? Do you want to come with me? Oh, there's lots to do. There's lots and lots to do. I did go up the other day with my notebook and made a plan and went round investigating what is growing there. And there's lots of fruit bushes and trees, and I found a lovely patch of rhubarb. So I did that so I know what I'm working with and what can be moved and what's established and all that kind of stuff. Let's go. Let's get to the allotment. So here we are on the plot. There is lots and lots to do. Lots to do. And you can't actually see how big it is from this end, but I'm going to walk you up the path to the top. So there is this huge bush here that I'm going to chop back today because it's blocking the path. Let's twizzle around it. So there's a shed, but as you can see, it's knackered, like it's all rotted The wind has fallen in. So I'm at the top end of the allotment now, and you still can't really see how big it is. It's a lot bigger than it's showing, really. Tom's hopefully going to get his drone and go up and take a picture. So we've got a cracking view right over there. The sunset's there, which is amazing. And that, you can't really see it on the video, but that goes all the way over to the seaside, which is amazing. So we've got fruit trees. There's this one, I'm not sure what it is yet. And then there's this big one. Where am I? Oh, I've not got the phone round yet. No, not that one. Oh, for goodness sake. Here, in the corner, this one. You can't actually see it on here. I'll move up to it. That's an apple tree, I think. So there's 5 beds. This one looks like it's been started to be dug over. I'm going to put potatoes in this one. And then we've got fruit bushes. There's raspberry and blackcurrant in there, but there's also lots of fruit bushes in the middle of beds, which is not ideal, and a gooseberry bush in the middle of the bed, so they're coming out. We've got loads of compost bins and water butts as well, which is good. There is broken glass and rubbish over here which needs shifting, and there's a big thing of bamboo that I need to chop down because it's just pointless being on here. But there are some lovely things on here too, so I'll show you some things I found. So this is where I took my picture the other day for the last video. The other week. The other day could be any time since an hour ago or a month ago, and you can see that this is where I was stood. So I'm going to put you down on the floor and I'm going to walk to the back so you can actually see how big it is. I'm hoping this isn't too low. So yeah, you can see that. Right, I'm going to walk to the back. You can see how big it is. I hope you could see me. What we have been left with in the shed is this plastic box, which is nice and solid, so that's good for keeping things in. Yeah, so I'm just going to get cracking. I am going to chop some of this down. I'm going to try and pull that window down that's in the shed because it's a bit of a, it looks dangerous. It's like hanging. So I'm going to pull that down, and then I don't know what we're doing. Tom wants to rebuild the shed complete. Oh, my head's gone. Tom wants to rebuild the shed completely. I think maybe we could just clad it on the outside because the structure of it seems quite solid. We'll have to see though, and I presume there's going to be lots of spiders in it. But that's fine. Right, I'm going to crack on. There is also a rhubarb crown. So excited about that. Is the, I think it's an apple tree. Looks like an apple tree. So that's really well established, which is amazing. There are also plenty of nettles and cleavers down there, which is really good as well. So see, there's nettles all over here. I'm going to cultivate a patch because I use them here for food and teas. There's a little bunch of onions that's already there, and there's some St John's wort as well. And then this is the bed I was talking about. So there's a gooseberry bush in the middle of it and a blackcurrant, I think it's a blackcurrant. And then there's this fruit tree, which I'm not sure what it is yet. It's starting to get a little leaf, but I don't know. So yep, lots to be done. Oh, and there's a clump of, I presume it's kale. Looks like kale, or maybe Chinese spring greens. there, but it all needs sorting out because you can see there's grass everywhere as well. So far I have put this down just for now. This is what was already on here until we can get some cardboard, and then I'll get rid of this completely. It's like a tarp thing, just to stop the grass growing under it. I've chopped this bush back so now you can walk past easily, which is much better. Sorry if I whizzed the camera then, because before you was getting caught on it, so now you can walk past it easily. So I've decided for this area I'm going to have one bed here, and then I'm going to make a path there. That's not staying, obviously, it's just a bit of plastic that was in the shed, but I've just put it there so I can see what a passage would be like. And then I'm going to do another bed there, but I think I might make that like a flower bed. And then at the back over here I've been putting all the things that I've chopped down. I'm going to make a mound. It's called something in German, I can't remember the name. I'll put it on the screen, it begins with a H. And I'm going to grow pumpkins and squashes over there. So I'll show you what I've been doing. I've been trying to tackle the brambles that are growing round this corner. This is by the shed. It's just full of rubbish. I've been pulling plastic out of it as well. But there's a big bramble there, lethal. I love brambles because you get black currants off them, but I don't want it here. So I've been chopping that bit by bit and then putting it on this pile. And I found, look at all them rocks and stuff down there. I don't know if you can see them. There's loads, so that'd make a nice rockery. So yeah, this pile will eventually go all down, a bit like compost I suppose. And then I'll cover it with other stuff, wood, soil, things like that. Still got to get all the grass out yet. And then I'm going to plant the squashes in there. And I think for this time, that bit's going to be potatoes, because potatoes really help the soil. And the soil doesn't actually look that bad. It's, you know, it looks alright once it's had a bit of a dig through to get rid of the stones and stuff. But I'm going to plant potatoes in that one. So I'm still at it, still doing. It's a bit windy now, but that's nice actually because it's sunny today and hot. So it doesn't actually look like I've done much, but I have. So it's all a work in progress though. I tell you what, I'm going to be fit by summer. Oh my goodness, I'm bloody knackered. I can't even hold my gimbal up because I've been chopping with the big cloppers. So I finished now for the day because I am pretty exhausted. I've done quite a lot. There's not much more I can do at the moment because the only tools I've got at the minute are what I call my cloppers, like big shear things. These, they're like on handles. And I've got, whoops, and I've got a trowel, not a trowel, a fork. I have got a trowel at home, but I've got a fork, and the stuff's too stubborn. So I can't really do much more until I get a spade. Could do with a rake and like a big fork, you know, one that you can push down with your foot. Because yeah, I can't really do much more, but I have done a lot, so I'm going to show you what I've done. It doesn't actually look that much in the grand scheme of things, but I keep saying to myself, slow and steady, slow and steady. It's not like when I do a makeover at home and I have to get it all done in one day, even though I'm desperate to get it all done in one day. It's never going to happen. But I've made a start, and that's the important thing. And my arms are shaking from chopping, and I've got a sweat on, and I need some dinner. And the other thing is there's no toilets here, so that, luckily we only live 5 minutes away, but I'm getting to the point now where I think I need a wee soon, so I'm gonna have to go home. Anyway, I'll show you what I've done. For a start, I pulled that window down from where it was hanging before, but you can see, look how rotten all the windowsill is and stuff. It's like it's had it, it's proper knackered. So if you're a shed company and you'd like to donate a shed, I'll talk about you a lot. So there's the window. I can't move it from there, it's too heavy, so I'm gonna have to wait for Tom to come. And then blinds need coming down. I've chopped them at the top as much as I can, but I can't reach over there to get any more because all this stuff needs coming out. Now the other thing that I've done is I found another piece of tarp, so I've got 2 bits now, so one there and one there. I'm going to go over here so you can see better. I'll turn around. So yeah, so I've got 2 now. So my idea is I'm going to have a bed there, a path, I'm going to make a path, and then have another bed there, move them water butts because they're useless, they're not even attached to anything. Look, the guttering's gone, and they're a bit in the way, but I think I want one down the other end of the allotment. And then this is what I've mainly been doing. So I told you that I was going to make this composty kind of patch to grow my pumpkins and squashing. So I've been doing that, but look what I've discovered in this corner. So I showed you this corner before, it had all that tarp and stuff in, and it's still got bits of pipe and stuff that need coming out. But the more I've pulled out, the more rocks I've discovered, and loads of slate. Oh my god. My gimbal, which is the thing that you hold to do video in so you're not like bumpy and stuff, I think it's run out of battery. And it keeps going bonkers. Anyway, I was saying that I'm hoping them stones that I found in the corner will make a nice path, and there's also a paving slab there as well, so that could make a good path. I've also been collecting any plastic that I'm finding and just putting it by the shed, so it's easier to take when we've got the car. Now my face is really big because I'm holding my phone now instead of it being on the gimbal. I've chopped lots of the fruit bushes that were sticking out of the raised beds, and I've replanted them at the end, so that's going to be like a little food forest bit at the end where the apple tree is. There's an apple tree and then there's other stuff, so let's go over there. I'm just watching where I'm walking because it's pretty uneven, all this ground. I've slipped quite a few times because there's like stones and stuff hidden, rocks and that. So I'll show you. I'm going to flip the camera and show you this bit that's going to be the food forest. Use your imagination, guys. This is an apple tree. I'm guessing it's an apple tree. And this area, all of this area is going to be like a food forest bit. So under the apple tree I'm going to plant strawberries. There's already rhubarb down here, what I showed you before. I'm going to plant some more rhubarb. There's also cleavers and nettles. I'm getting rid of this bamboo. If anybody's got any advice for me on how to get rid of bamboo, because there's a bush there and also there's this giant one here, and I don't want to put it in the compost bin because I'm guessing it'll keep growing in the compost bin. So I've been putting in this bit the bits of the fruit bits that I've been chopping off, the fruit bushes, and sticking them in. There's another tree here, don't know what this is. It's quite new, but it's got some buds on it, and it looks like a fruit tree, so we'll see. I need to clear all this tarp and all this rubbish. There's all brambles in here that I've been chopping, and I'm gonna grow brambles at the back. And there's all this wood that needs going, but I'm going to use that underneath the bed to do that thing I was on about before, the beginning with the H that I'll put on the screen. And there's all different fruit bits of trees and stuff here, so I'm going to make this area, I'm going to make this top end area into a food foresty bit. because it is quite a good size. It is quite wide and a good size, and also I've got plenty of room. So behind me I've got enough space for, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 4 long beds that were here before, but they're all covered in grass, that I'm going to get rid of the grass and make them back into beds. And then I've got them 2 beds that I've just shown you with a tarp on. So that's like, I've got 6 beds really, which is, a good amount. And then if we have the food forest at the back, I'm just getting back in the shade, it's quite hot. If we have the food forest bit at the end as well, that'll be loads, won't it? And then squashes growing. Honestly, I can't tell you how grateful I am to have this bit of land. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. Don't start crying. Nearly cried on the allotment woman the other day when she gave me the keys. Yeah, I'm going to compose myself. Anybody that knows me, that's known me for a long time, or that's followed me for a long time, knows how much I love nature, and knows how much I love growing things and plants and natural living and all that kind of thing. And I've always wanted a forever garden, always, because it's somewhere that that you can plant stuff and it's going to stay there. Nobody's going to come along, the landlord's not going to come along and say, right, out you get now, you've got to move out. And the amount of lovely gardens I've had over the years in rented accommodation that I've made really nice, and then we've ended up having to move out, it's a bit heartbreaking. And if you've been in that situation, you'll know what I mean. So to have this piece of land, this piece of allotment that I can plant in, and know that as long as I stay here, in the future it's going to be here. It's a real kind of earthy, rooting feeling, like a grounding feeling, that this can be permanent as long as I want it to be permanent. And it's just the start. It is just the beginning. And I watch loads of YouTube channels where they grow in the gardens and then they get an allotment and then they get a bigger allotment, or they move to somewhere that's got a big bit of land. And I just know, I'm just swapping arms, my arms are wrecking. I think I'll need a bath when I get home. I just know that this is the beginning, and it feels like it's come at a perfect time with everything that's going on in the world and how crazy it all is. And with all the different things that they're doing to squeeze small businesses, it's hard to keep your chin up and be positive and keep going, And this has come at just a perfect time. It's going to be so good for our mental health, for fitness, because I'll do this all day. I do gardening and growing and digging and all whatever. I do it all day. Get me in the gym, I don't really like it. So it's going to be good for everything. It's going to be good for eating as well, really lovely food. It's going to save us so much money. I'm also doing a cost thing as well. So I'm writing down anything that I buy for the allotment, I'm writing down how much it is. And then at the end of the year, I'm going to see how much we've saved or not. Maybe we'll have overspent by the end of the year. I don't know. Sorry about this wind. Oh, it's getting quite windy now, and I know that's annoying when you're watching a video. So I'm going to anything that I grow, I'm going to weigh it at home and then see how much equivalent it'd be in the supermarket, so we can have like a budget at the end of the year to see, if there has been a saving. And even if there hasn't been a saving, do you know what? It's so beneficial in every other way. And the food is going to taste amazing. So I'm really mucky now. I need a cup of tea, a little bit of dinner, and I'm going to get home. But I just wanted to show you. Oh, such good news, honestly. And I've got to say thank you so much to Karen, who sent me a message to say that she's got lots of seeds and she's posting them out to me. So thanks, Karen. Ooh. Oh, I was going to kiss my hand then, but I'm full of mud, I better not. Yeah, thanks, Karen. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. And yes, thank you for being here. I'm just filled with gratitude, honestly, just filled with so much gratitude that I've got a bit of nature to look after. I'm going. See you all soon. Bye.